everyone. It's Wednesday night, and welcome to another episode of Getting Candid with Rochie. So, tonight is a very special night because it's almost the end of January. Can you believe that? And I just want to ask you guys, how's your New Year's resolution? For those who wanted to lose weight, how is it going? Were you able to lose a few pounds, maybe a pound or two or three? Or have you gained a pound or two or three since January 1st? So I know how you feel. I know it's getting stressful. So now is the time for you to listen because we have a health coach with us tonight. Yes, she's going to help us go back on track on our healthy living plans and goals for 2021. So, without further intro, I would like to introduce to you tonight's guest, Hallie Steinberg. Hi, Hallie.
Hey there. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you for saying yes. So, how is everything there on your side? Is it snowing?
Not snowing. It's cold here, though. Not snowing, but it's definitely gotten very cold. So, taking advantage of the warm house right now.
Okay, me too. I just want to be in my pajamas, right? So, anyway, I would like to go on with our first question because I know a lot of people might want to ask questions later on. So, guys, if you are on YouTube, make sure to click the notification bell so that you won't miss any episodes, and also subscribe to the Frigolista Mom. And also, if you have questions, just type them in the comment section and I'll try to go through them during the show. So don't be shy, okay? Or if you have any tips for us as well, about losing weight, about being healthy, eating more fruits and vegetables, put us all in the comment because we know other people would like to hear from you as well. So let's get started, Hallie. Before becoming a health coach, who is Hallie? Or what were you doing?
Well, I'm a mom. I'm a wife and a mom, that's for sure. So I have 3 kids. I have 3 girls, ages 9, 13, and 15. But I would say my health coaching / healthy living started well before that. My background's in biology. I was pre-med in college, so I have a degree in biology. And then rather than go to med school, I decided to go into teaching. So I became a special ed teacher. For many years, I taught in New York City, in the suburbs of New York for many years. And then I had my family, so I took a little bit of break on teaching, but I stayed with the health and wellness field. And then more recently, in the last 4 or 5 years, I really got back into health and wellness, became a certified health coach more recently, and started my business, Hallie's Healthy Living.
That's amazing. So you've always been healthy. I mean, have you always, or did you have any struggles when you were a kid? For me, I didn't have struggles as a child because maybe, typically you're chubby. And then during my teen years, I was an athlete. So yeah. I'd say at that time I was bulked. I had all the muscles. I could eat, one loaf of bread for snack and then have lunch. I had lunch and dinner and after a few hours, so no issues. But then again, as we grow old, there are some changes. So how's your story?
For me, I would say I've always been relatively a healthy eater, but I've always been more of an emotional eater. I tend, especially in the past, I always tend to eat for stress, boredom, some of the more emotional reasons to be eating. So I wasn't really in tune with my body so much. That's been my own personal journey. I love the concept of intuitive eating, which is basically really listening to your body as to what your body needs to eat and what your body needs. Staying away from dieting and really focusing on weight loss and restrictive eating, but focusing more on what your body craves and what your body needs and really listening. So that's kind of been my journey. I will definitely tell you that it's not a perfect journey for sure. I grow every day. And I'm constantly learning. So I learn as I go.
That's amazing. So, what inspired you to be a health coach?
Well, I'd say two different reasons. First, my dad is a surgeon. He's a doctor, and I've always wanted to emulate that. I love that he helps people. I love biology, human bodies. So I've always looked up to him. That, one of the reasons why I wanted to be a doctor. So that the medicine field has always interested me. And also my children, growing up, I didn't always make the best choices with food and lifestyle. And I really wanted to teach them the best way to live a healthy life. And so I wanted to be a model for them. So really they inspired me to figure out how to be a mom, how to be a certified health coach, but also to be able to be okay with, living life like everybody else. And so that journey is, my kids have helped me, inspire me on that journey, because it's not easy being a mom, not easy being a businesswoman. It's not easy being, a health coach in a time of a society that, loves to eat in excess, loves to eat a lot of junky, unhealthy foods, and also is bombarded by, very difficult body image stereotypes that are hard to follow. So, it's been, like I said, a journey. I always call it a healthy living journey, because we have ups and downs all throughout that journey.
Yeah. So for those who are watching right now, maybe they're asking, what is a health coach? Because they know a basketball coach. We know what a life coach is, a business coach. So what is a health coach, basically?
So for me, a certified health coach is someone who's gone training and certification to help people make best choices for their lifestyle. So I see myself as a teacher. I was a teacher. I taught elementary ed for many, many years, but I see myself as an educator in the fact that I love to share education about label reading, about food choices, about why we need complex carbs, healthy fats. So giving that baseline education, and then coaching, helping my clients so that they can make their best decisions. So I'm not going to tell someone what to do. I'm not going to give someone a plan, an eating plan. I'm going to help encourage someone to create that themselves with my guidance. I'm going to help coach someone and support them through that process. And for me, it's really not so much only about nutrition. As a health coach, I find that you have to work on the 4 pillars of health. We call it the 4 pillars of health. So it's not just nutrition, though that's a huge part of it. It's also the 4 pillars of health are the LEAN acronym: L standing for lifestyle, E exercise, A attitude, and N nutrition. So it's nutrition, it's your lifestyle habits, your exercise or activity, and also your attitude. So much of what I do is about mindset and attitude towards your health, your body image, and all that great stuff. So there's just so much more to a health coach than telling someone what to eat. There's really a lot more. And once again, my goal and my job is to support you so that you can make the best choices for yourself.
Wow, that's amazing. So guys, here's the takeaway. The L stands for, what is
lifestyle.
It? Lifestyle. E is for exercise. Yes. A is for attitude, and N is for nutrition. And you know what? From my experience, because, I've been in the food business, the food allergy, health and wellness community for the longest time. And it's not about just weight loss, because right now when you say, I want to be healthy for 2021, it's all about losing the pounds. And, there are so many things that has been going on. Like they would tell you this type of diet, there's the keto, there's the Atkins, there's the intermittent fasting, and then, everything. And then sometimes, people would see it will work. Like for 3 months, yes, I lost the 20 pounds, I lost this one. But then over the course of the next year or so, you will see that they're starting to, I don't want to be mean, but hello, you're starting to get bigger again, right? And then, and actually, there are also some people, even those who did I would say the drastic changes, like the gastric bypass, or those that put, I don't know what you call it again, the one that put...
band. It's a gastric.
The band, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they would really lose a lot of weight, but then eventually some, I would say some, not all, there were people who will get bigger in the long run and then they would be worse than what they are, meaning I would say worse health wise, that their
Mhm.
blood pressure will go through the roof, they'll be diabetic,
Mhm.
or I would say, all those blood work will be like all over the place.
Yeah.
So anyway, speaking of weight loss, because I know most people wanted to lose weight because of the health issues involved. Because when you're overweight, ouch, ouch, right? When you're overweight, there are all the risk of high blood pressure, of,
Right.
diabetes, everything. So at the I would say at the start of January, everybody would
Yeah.
have that goal. They would buy stuff, like they would be on a plan. I mean, I don't really judge on that one because I know some people, it will work for some people and they would actually change their life and then they'll continue doing it, which is good for them, right? So
Mhm.
I don't judge on what they do much. It's just that for most of us, January is like, okay, this is my goal. I'll be doing this.
My
I'll be
resolution. Yeah.
I'll be
Yeah.
spending like maybe all my Christmas money on supplements, health and wellness products, and then after, yeah, by the end of January, early
Done.
February, and by summer,
No.
the swimsuit still
Right.
doesn't fit, right? So
Right.
why do you think that is a problem?
Well, I would say I don't focus so much on resolutions. I want to focus on habit change because you might want to do something for 1, 2, 3 weeks, maybe 3 months. But if it's not something that you're going to sustain for the rest of your life, or at least the majority of your life, it's not doable. So our society and women in particular, often want a quick fix. Just give me something so I can lose weight. Give me a product. Tell me what to do. And it's not so simple because first off, weight loss, I don't believe should be the goal. The goal should be healthy living. Now, as a consequence of healthy living, you often will shed some weight, and that's wonderful. But what I see people is they go through this extreme eating, extreme dieting. Everything's about restriction, and it's just a mindset that really hurts people, physically and mentally. So what I always say is try to live in moderation. I'm not telling you not to eat something. I'm not telling you to stay away from all sugar, never drink another alcoholic beverage. I'm telling you, well, can you do it in moderation? How can you do it so that you can do it, make it so that it's healthy and still sustainable, that you can live your life, enjoy your life, and not be extreme. So that's what happens in January. Typically, people make extreme resolutions that aren't necessarily sustainable. So my goal, whenever I work with someone, is to help them develop simple changes for a healthy life. So to make these changes, whether it be add more liquid, add more water for your hydration, sleep more often, get more sleep, add more healthy fats because a lot of people don't tend to eat enough healthy fats. Add more fruits and vegetables. Simple things that will, over time, affect your health very much, and also they're sustainable. So I think at this point, I always like to tell people focus on habit, and it doesn't have to be January 1st. It could be February, March. What small changes can you make that will lead to these bigger changes down the road? Because remember, I talk to a lot of people in the financial industry, and there's some, financial advisors will tell you to invest in your IRA, which is your individual retirement account.
Yes.
Well, I tell people, well, I want you to invest in your IRHA, and that's your individual retirement health account. Because what you're doing now is how you're investing for your future down the road. So what we're doing now is going to lead to our health and hopefully our longevity. Because our goal is to have a health span and a long lifespan, not just lifespan, but health span. So I really like to try to get people to work on moderation, how you can still have fun, and still be healthy and make it all work.
Wow. So, but you know what? I was just from what I was like sharing earlier when I was young. So there you go. When I was like maybe 10 years ago. No joke. When during my teen years, I would say my metabolism is high. I was an athlete, and this one, and then actually when I had my first two kids, I never
Mhm.
had issues. Even actually the third, because I have four. So the first three kids. I have no issues losing weight because I had my first one at 24, my second one at 26, my third one is at 28. Yeah, they're all 2 years apart. So anyway, for the first two kids, I would say I only gained around 35 pounds max, between 25 to 35,
Mhm.
because first of all I would say I had a Filipino doctor because my roots are Filipino, and then she knows that I'm on the tiny spot. I mean, she considers me tiny because I'm 5'1", and then at that time when I got pregnant, I was about 110 pounds, and at that time I would say 110, and I had muscles. Like I look tiny, but after I went, I had my body mass
Mhm.
check at the Y before for physical training, and he was like surprised that I actually have muscles and no skin, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, your body mass is so low." And I'm like, "How do you do that?" And I said, "I was an athlete." That's why I said you don't
Yeah.
see it because I look very petite, but it's like, yeah, it's not skin and
It's there.
bones.
Mhm.
So at that time, after losing, from after giving birth, within 6 months, I lost it. So I'm back to 110, 115, when you're breastfeeding and that one. So that's a good thing. And then for my third child, I have to switch doctors in the middle of the pregnancy, but it's okay because I only gained 40 pounds on him. So it's a little over from what I used to, but 40 pounds was is easy. And actually at that time it was very hard because I already got three kids under 7. So it was tough, like no sleep, running around. So and then when I had my fourth child, I switched to a different doctors again. And this time I would say I had a Caucasian doctor. And from the standards, I would say from the US standards, I was at that time I'm about 115. I'm ranging from 110 to 115. When he saw me, he said, "Oh my goodness, you're very much underweight." So when I heard that magic word, and underweight, let's go buffet. And you know what? And at that time I'm saying, you know what? I had no more plans of giving birth again. This is probably my last pregnancy. And you know
Yeah.
what? I don't care when you're pregnant, even if you wear a two-piece, you're gorgeous. Right?
Yeah.
No
Absolutely.
one judge you. You're gorgeous with a two-piece pregnant. You're hot. But
Yeah.
then again, then that's the only way you can get away. I would say that's the only time I could get away with it.
Yeah.
So anyway, when I was about like seven, probably like between 6 to 7 months pregnant, I'm surprised that all my maternity clothes don't fit me anymore. And I said they never shrunk, and I'm like, nope, there's something off in there. And then I realized at 6 months I gained over 60 pounds.
Yeah.
After that's only at 6 months, pregnant. So I have 3 more months to go.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, I didn't look at the weighing scale anymore.
Mhm.
And then I just, like enjoy as long as I don't. And then I try to control my sugar and my carbs because I don't want to go diabetic at that time,
Yeah.
which is, I said I don't like that. So that's the only thing I control. But I know that I packed a lot of weight because after I gave birth, I felt like I'm still pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait up. And that's a big baby, I should have
Right.
lost the 30 or 40 pounds. It's like, this is not me.
It's
And
harder.
then
The age,
it,
your
it
age factors in a little bit
yes.
too.
And it was, yeah. And then I was like, okay, so I need to lose weight. So I lost 40, I lost this one. And then I was up down to my last 20. Supposedly, so I'm happy now, last 20 pounds. And that took me 2, 3 years.
Yeah.
And then eventually my kids grew, so I'm not running around anymore after them. They're more behaved now. I can tell them to go in this one. Unlike when they were toddlers that I have to run, I don't
Yeah.
do that anymore. Or when they were in the park, they could do it on their own in the swing, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting down instead of running. So I said it's a little different change of lifestyle for me, not moving around. And then I gained more and more, and actually, and I would say, okay, guys, here's the full disclosure. When I reached 120, I asked my doctor, can I still lose weight? And he's like, why? Um, because you're still on the right weight. And he's like, you're on the right weight. So what? I said, that's not my normal weight. I was about 110 to 115. So he's like, okay, you can still lose weight. It doesn't matter. You're clear.
Right.
But every year, I think I gained 5 more pounds.
Yeah.
and he and I think he can't yell at me because I get a free pass, because when he checked my I would say my blood work, it's always nice. It's always clear. So I think he can't yell at me, but I think at the back of his mind, this person every year wanted to lose weight, but she keeps on gaining.
Yeah.
And now I'm scared this year. Because after I had my last checkup before the pandemic.
No. Oh well.
And I know it's not a good time.
Right. And I have to tell you, as you get older, not you, but people in general, and your body changes. So, as you get older, your muscle mass decreases. So your body composition changes. We tend to be more sedentary. So we're not exercising maybe as much as we used to, which you mentioned. Sometimes women develop thyroid conditions, which affect your metabolism and your hormones. We have hormonal issues going on throughout that. So we have a lot as women, a lot happening in our bodies. So change is very common. And unfortunately, weight loss, as you get older, it is harder to keep a lean body mass, a lean composition, if you're not as active. And if you're eating some of the more carbohydrate, sugar heavy foods. So it's a fact of life. And that's why exercising, moving your body, activity, whether it be at the gym, whether it be at your house, whether it be playing with your kids, is so important, because it's not only great for our body, it's great for our mind, it's great for our metabolism, it's great for our muscle mass, our bone density. So exercise in general, cardiovascular health. So really, as we age, moving our body, being active is extremely important.
Mm-hmm. And also for those people who are like me, who always gain weight, don't be scared, because I'm very active. I would say my doctor liked me because I'm active, because for the past 2-3 years, I play badminton in a gym 3 times a week, which is very good cardio. And he likes it because it's not just cardio. I was able to, it's agility, everything. And even I would say with the mind, because everything's, you use not only your body, but your mind in playing. And then during the pandemic, it stopped. But thankfully, I'm able to play at least once or twice a week. That's why I make it a point when the gyms start to open, we're like, yes, we need to play, because otherwise there will be other health issues going to get involved. Because, you work from home. All the kids are home. I don't even drive much. I only drive to the grocery store.
And we're basically in our kitchens at all points of the day. You're constantly around food nowadays, especially when you're stuck home with COVID and everything. So
yes. So I was like, a little thing for women. Are there other things that we have to watch out for? Because, sometimes, like me, I'm healthy. I consider myself healthy. My blood work is fine. I try to exercise. I try to control my food. I would say I try to do that one, because my kids have multiple food allergies. But then again, I notice my weight is still like on that range. I can't lose as much as I wanted to or supposed to be. So are there other conditions that we should watch out for or ask our doctors? Because I'm in my early 40s now.
Yeah. Yes. Like I said, thyroid for women often is I always recommend, especially if you're feeling lethargic, sleepy, or, just not having the energy that you normally have. Thyroid is a big one that for women in particular. I have a thyroid condition, I found out. So I have an underactive thyroid. It's an autoimmune condition. So that's something to take a look at. Also, as we age, sometimes we do get food sensitivities, and you mentioned allergies. So as I've gotten older, I found that my body just does not respond well to gluten and dairy. So those are two and very inflammatory foods. They're very highly sensitive foods. Often many people are allergic to them, of course. Yeah. So for me, I've had to cut those out of my diet. And that's just something that I found that my body just does not respond well to them. The other thing is as we get older, what we ate as a child affects our body very differently. So sugar in particular, when you're younger, you're very active, your metabolism's going, you're growing. You see these teenagers, they can eat nonstop. We don't, as you get older, that just, your body cannot handle that. So sugar in particular is a tough thing it affects your immune system. It affects your body processes. It affects your skin. It affects your mindset. So, as we get older, sugar, is more challenging for our bodies. I say it's very important to get protein especially as you're getting older, healthy fats and protein. A lot of people don't realize how important protein is because, when we're growing up, we have protein for building and forming our muscles, repairing our muscles. Well, as we age, we're not really building muscle anymore. In fact, we're losing muscle. Mm-hmm. So right now, the protein is being used for repairing, but also just maintaining our muscle mass. So we want to make sure we have healthy, lean proteins with every meal, and I like to say every snack because it helps your sugar intake and affects your insulin. But that's a whole other subject. But so I say as we get older, we have thyroid. We have more sensitivities to foods. We're less active, typically. Our metabolism's changing. Our hormones are changing.
Yes, hormones.
Women, number one, especially in our 40s, 50s, even late 30s. And, we're not in, I'm also in my 40s. We're not in necessarily childbearing age, or our bodies are going through transition. So everything is different for us. Our skin's not the same that it used to be. We're changing, for the better. I say we're changing for the better, but we just have to be aware of it. So that's why we have to focus on the things that are important for us, the healthy fats, the complex carbs, the lean proteins. We want to stay away from certain foods, in particular, things that we might be sensitive to, but in particular, artificial coloring, flavoring, sweeteners. We really want to stay away from those because they affect our brain health, our body, our cells, in so many ways. And we want to make sure we get tons of fruits and vegetables. That's a really important thing, especially as we age. There's something called oxidative stress, which is basically, when you cut an apple in half, it turns brown.
Yes.
Over time, that's called oxidation. And basically, the cells are degrading, or it's almost like a rust. Well, the same thing happens to our bodies constantly. In fact, wrinkling is a form of oxidative stress. It's aging. So what happens is through toxins, the environment, the foods we eat, these biochemical processes in our body, all these things are basically hurting our cells. They're aging our cells. And so one way to offset that is to eat something called antioxidants, which are in our fruits and vegetables. That's why when you cut an apple, if you put some lemon juice on it, it doesn't turn brown as quickly. So for women in particular, women and men, but as we age, those antioxidants in the fruits and vegetables are so important.
So speaking of fruits and vegetables, I'm bad at that.
You're not alone.
Actually, before when I say fruits, and actually one of my children got it from me, and the pediatrician just laughed like crazy because she's so honest. She asked the pediatrician, "So, what fruits are you eating vegetables?" And he's like, "Yeah, I like spinach. I like this one. I don't like the raw salad, but I like, sauteed spinach just in olive oil and lemon. I love it." She would say, "I eat beans, and then how about your fruits?" And you know what she said? "Well, I eat apple pie and blueberry muffin
I love it. Hey, that's honest. There you go.
and banana bread. And I'm like, and her pediatrician just stared at me, and I said, "That's the same fruits that I eat."
Well, you're honest.
She's my daughter, and she's like,
That's
"Is
funny.
that a joke?" It's like she is not joking. She just has that full honest face. So,
Yeah.
what
So
are
that's
your tips?
interesting because usually people tend to not eat the vegetables and they like the fruit better. So that's kind of the reverse.
It is reverse, right? She would rather eat, I would say, bok choy, steamed bok choy, and just put a little salt, pepper, and then maybe lemon. She could eat that with rice, and she's happy. Give her a banana, and she'll be like, mm-mm.
No.
So, so what are your tips for getting more fruits and vegetables in our diet?
That and my tips are the same for adults and kids because there's just as many picky adults as kids. It's so important to get the variety of the colors. So I always say eat the colors of the rainbow. You know, with the reds, the yellows, the oranges, the greens, the blues, the purples. All of those are so important because each color has different phytonutrients, which are plant nutrition, that does different things to our bodies, have different vitamins and minerals and things like that. So, you know, for the kids that will eat, you know, the same maybe, you know, one piece of broccoli every day, and maybe tomato in like a little iceberg lettuce, you're not getting the color, the variety. So I always tell people, especially for kids, I say for kids in particular, make a rainbow chart where you can make, and I have templates for this. So reach out to me. I can give you my email or something. I have templates I'd be happy to share where you actually have different colors of the rainbow, and the kids come and put stickers on the colors that they eat. But now you have to clarify the colors. For instance, red does not, or let's say blue or purple does not mean blueberry pie. It means the fruit or vegetable. Okay. All right. But it also doesn't mean candy that's blue or purple. So you have to like explain to kids. We're talking about fruits and vegetables that are, you know, at the supermarket or in a garden that you pick. And so that's just one way. I find a lot of picky eaters do well with shakes and smoothies, trying to kind of hide that in. Sometimes you have to be sneaky and get things in with kids, especially as they're younger. As they get older, it's not so easy to do that. But I always tell people, start young. Have your kids try lots of different things very young. The fact that your daughter is eating bok choy, I mean, we happen to love bok choy because we've introduced our kids. I actually grow bok choy in my garden. So like, you know, start young, have them go to the supermarket with you, have them look at star fruit, have them look at papaya, have them look at all these different things that they don't know about necessarily that aren't common, and let them try things, let them explore. The other thing I always say for kids in particular is get them gardening, get them somehow to get in the garden, whether it be an inside garden, an outside garden, a tabletop garden, I don't care. Just get them to try things, to get in that earth and to really see how fruits and vegetables are grown, and then talk to them about why it's important. And then for adults, you know, you just have to make sure you get the variety. You know, a lot of adults will say, oh, I have a salad every day. But if it's iceberg lettuce, you know, the lettuce that's, you know, not that nutritious compared to spinach, romaine, some more nutritious lettuces, and maybe you have a cucumber and a tomato every day, well, you're not still getting the variety. I mean, it's great. I'm thrilled that you want that salad, but I want you to get more variety. I want you to add the fruits. I want you to add the different vegetables. So being inventive and creative, get those vegetables, roast them, grill them. I mean, you can have a lot of fun with things. So you just have to get creative. And that's one of the things I do as a health coach. I help people get creative and be adventurous, especially kids. All right, try to.
Yeah, and the kids are hard too, right? So actually for me, because when I was growing up, I'm very picky when it comes to vegetables. I could eat fruits at that time, but not, you know, I would be very picky with vegetables. And you know what my mom does to make me eat different types of vegetables? She would saute it like in, you know, because I don't want it really crunchy and raw. So she would saute like carrots, sweet potatoes,
Yeah.
whatever we have. Like if they're gonna have like a dish with vegetables, she's gonna saute a few for me, saute it in garlic, onions, and then she will cool it down, wrap it in what we call the spring roll wrappers,
Yeah, of course. Oh, that sounds delicious.
and fry it.
Oh,
So basically, they have a vegetable dish there, but mine is wrapped in that one because it's crunchy and I could eat anything crunchy. So I'm basically eating the same thing. It's just that mine is dry and put it inside the wrapper, and it's crunchy and fried.
and
So
you're getting your vegetables in. And the other thing I do, I mean, I have 3 kids, so I have a couple that really love fruits, and all my kids love fruit. Fruit is a very popular thing in my house. Some of the vegetables are not always so popular. So I just had to be, inventive. But one thing I do for my kids is I give them a whole food concentrate, which is basically a way of getting more variety of fruits and vegetables. So they eat a chewy, I take a capsule. So that's something that I help people with as well. It's called Juice Plus. So it's not actually a juice. It's just a way of getting more variety. So in particular, those picky eaters that really have trouble, that really, really don't want to eat those vegetables or fruit, I think it's a great solution for them in particular.
Oh, so we're talking about the supplements, right? It's okay to give them those.
Right, but the beauty, see, I'm not a big vitamin person. I'm not a big believer in having vitamins, even multivitamins, unless you have a deficiency, unless a doctor has told you, okay, you're low in iron, you're low in calcium. So for me, I want to get my nutrition from food sources. So that's why the Juice Plus that I just mentioned is actually fruits and vegetables. So I'm all about, if you're going to have to supplement, I want you to do it with actual food product, not necessarily a vitamin or a multivitamin. But however, I always say, go follow what your doctor tells you. If you have a deficiency, or let's say you have an allergy to something and you can't have certain food, well, then that's a different scenario.
So now I would like to ask you, Mrs. Health Coach, what is your normal day? What is your typical day? And then, because we're talking about healthy living. So, because, a lot of us would say, oh, it's hard to walk, especially now it's cold. Like, that's my number one excuse. I can't walk or do jogging outside because it's cold. I want it to be 60 degrees. Anything higher than 60, I'm starting to wear my pajamas and that's it. Yeah. So, and I'm in Jersey, right?
Yeah, it's cold. It's still cold here too.
So, what is your typical day like, and what are the things you eat? A typical breakfast, lunch.
So I start off in the morning with always a big glass of water. So we want to make sure we hydrate in the morning first thing. Some people drink hot water with lemon. That's a popular thing. Some people drink coffee and tea. That's fine. But remember, coffee and tea some coffees and teas have caffeine, which is a dehydrator. So when you wake up, a big glass of water is the best thing you could be doing, because you have to, every time I say it, I know I'm about to go grab my water right now, because it hydrates you. You've been sleeping for how many, 6, 7, 8, maybe, hopefully 8 hours a day, you haven't necessarily been hydrated. So water first. And so once I get water, then I have to get the kids ready, feed the dog. So I actually don't eat immediately. Within an hour of when I wake up, I usually give myself a breakfast. I'm not typically very hungry in the morning, but I make myself eat something because it's a good way to start the day. And otherwise I will overeat later in the evening or later in the afternoon because I won't have enough food. I'll be undernourished, or I'll be feeling like I'm hungry. So usually I give myself either an oatmeal of some sort or a cereal. I love, because I can't have dairy, I can't have milk. I have my cereal with almond milk. And I make sure I get a cereal that's, not high in sugar, because there's a lot of added sugars and sugar in cereals. So I find this, and I'm also gluten-free, so I have to find one that will fit. But I want to make something that's also tasty. I don't want to eat awkward. And I usually add some fruit to my cereal as well. Or if I do oatmeal, I add some fruit to my oatmeal. Maybe put a little honey in, and some nuts to get some healthy fat. And so usually that's a breakfast I have. And then about 2-3 hours later, I work in the morning, get the kids to school or often home now because of COVID. But I do a lot of work in the sessions and things like that in the morning, or networking, whatever I'm doing, a meeting. So then I make sure I have a snack at least no more than 3 hours after breakfast, because for me, I really have to eat every 2-3 hours, because I find that I get very hungry and then I don't always make the best choices. My mood goes, whoo, I get in a crabby mood. So I usually have a snack, and for every snack, I always add a protein. So sometimes I'll have it. See, I don't have any true allergies besides some sensitivities. So I'll have like I'll have like I make my own trail mix, or with some healthy nuts and some dried fruit, or I'll make peanut butter and apple, or I'll do. I love peanut. I know a lot of people here have allergies or some kind of nut butter. I happen to be able to eat peanut butter, but any kind of nut butter. I'll have an egg with a piece of fruit. So as you can see, I always make sure there's a protein with my snack. Then I'll have lunch. Usually I love to have like a salad with some kind of complex carb of some sort, but basically whatever is available, if I'm, depending on what the kids need and what their day is like. And then usually I try to go for a walk midday if the weather allows, just to get outside, because I also feel it's really important to get outside, even though it's cold, just to get some exposure to outside.
Yeah, some air, right? Decent air.
Clear my mind. And then my kids, if they go to school, depending on which day they go, they come home, I get another snack, and then we make dinner. And dinner is always a protein with some kind of complex carb, and always, always, always a vegetable. And usually we have like a fruit for dessert of some sort. And then we snack, throughout the day as well. So, every day is different. It's kind of whatever I'm in the mood for. I personally love popcorn, so I snack on popcorn. I often like to snack on popcorn. And then I exercise usually at night. So in early evening. So whether it be I do a indoor bike, or I do a video of some sort, or I'm very big into yoga. So I try to do a yoga program. So I try to work it in. I don't exercise every day because it's not always feasible. But I just try to get it in because I know it makes me feel better. And there's some days I just need that.
Yeah, you need that, right? Like that's what I always say.
It's hard. It's hard to go to bed early, but I try to make sure I get there, at a decent time.
Yeah, that's what I always say when my kids are like, "Mom, you're getting mean. When is your badminton night?" And I was like, "Why do you want a badminton?" Because I just want to hit it. It's when you're allowed to hit something as hard as you can. And without any penalties at all. So it's like, oh, we're aggravated. Yes, I keep on hitting it. and it's funny because I said we always, and then I think one thing that tip that we could share is actually do something you like. Because I know a lot of people, like for me, if you tell me to run, I can't. I don't have ADHD like diagnosed, but I tell them my attention span is this much. Yeah. So when I start running, actually I started when I started training before for a 5K. That was years ago. And then they told me, "Oh, you finish your 5K, then you're going to go on a 10K." I said, "No." Why? Because I don't know if I'm doing the same thing for like 10 minutes, and I don't run 10 minutes for a 5K. So usually it's like, no, my brain is already somewhere and I can't. I know. So then at that time, I feel so bad that why can't I do it? And a lot of people can do it because they said, because you're more into something that, like for me with badminton, I said, I use my brain. Yeah. I don't run on a straight path. It's all over the court, and
then interactive. It's social. Badminton, you're with other people. You're being social. You're interacting.
Well, actually, not that much because you know what? We're on separate courts in this one.
But you're competing against someone.
Yes, it is. It's competition. That's the thing. You don't want to lose. Yeah. So that's one thing that I enjoyed. And then there are some that into yoga because they're more relaxing. So it really depends. And I always say, try it. Yes. Whatever you want. Because actually, I've known some people who they're in their 40s, 50s. They started doing martial arts.
Yeah.
because it's for them, because for them it's also like stress reliever. You can hit it, like that one, and then you're focused. And then for them, it's not much of the competition. It's within themselves. It's not, because for me, I need to really annoy somebody. That's why,
Well, and you're absolutely right what you said, though. Exercise, the best exercise is the one that you enjoy doing. So if that's like jumping on a trampoline with your kids, I mean, gardening can be exercise. I mean, it really depends on just getting your body moving, your heart pumping, and, getting your blood to flow. If you enjoy it, variety is key, I find, but whatever you like is the best exercise.
Yeah, that's the key, because I know some people were like, I went to a gym, I paid for a full year, and I can't, because you don't want to be on a treadmill. You got to find something that you like, right?
Absolutely, 100%. And variety helps, changing it up, I think helps too.
That is cute. Now, here's something. Let's go back to the gardening, because I try to garden. I don't have much room because we're in a condo, but actually I do have potted plants, which are, I got my herbs, which they tend to be very pricey, but guess what? I do have my herbs and they're handy. So I have those, and I have them all year round because they're in pots, so I can put it inside the house during winter. So Lynn, will you share with us your indoor garden? I know you're not there right now, but can you get info about it?
I could take a walk downstairs, actually.
Sure.
Yeah, just mind the messy house. I'm not kidding. All right. So basically, one of the things I work with is the indoor aeroponic garden. So it's an indoor garden that, we're going on a little field trip here. It's an indoor garden that you can grow fruits or vegetables inside or outside of your house, but there's no soil. So it's aeroponic. So it's actually in a rock wool where you put the seeds in, and it cycles on and off, and the lights are all on a timer. So it's really, I'm going to my basement. I keep mine in my basement. So here.
Oh, guys, see, she has plants in her basement.
Yep. Here we go. I just put new seedlings in. Hopefully, wait, let me see if you can see it.
Oh, there you go.
Some baby seedlings. So up here, we've got different types of kale. I've got celery. Oh, I'm not showing a very good angle here. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm on a laptop. So I've got
there you go. It's perfect.
Different lettuces. And if you can see, here, let me see if I can show you it.
There you go.
That's it. So you can see the lights. You can see the baby seedlings are all new. So they're going to be growing and they get huge, and that bottom is the reservoir. So it's just a way. And here I actually have a baby seedling. I can show you a seedling I didn't need to use. Here, you can see he's a little guy. I think that, this is a kale. And actually, ironically, it just turned on the pump. So I'll be quiet for a second. You can hear it. So I don't know if you can hear it.
Go. Yeah, we can hear it. So actually, it is really a garden without any soil.
Yep. And there's the pump. Oh, I don't know if you can see it because it's dark. I'm
yes.
Up. So that's the water. And it just pumps. So there's no soil, no weeds. And I can grow it in my basement in the winter.
Wow, that's amazing. So what is it called again?
It's called the Tower Garden.
The Tower Garden.
Tower Garden. Yeah, and actually I'm trying, I brought it to many schools. I brought it to a couple community centers and senior centers. So I'm always looking for places that are looking for indoor gardens. I just sold one up in Canada, so I'm actually excited about that. So that's a good place to be growing inside because it's cold.
Yes.
It's just a great way of growing more fruits and vegetables.
See that? So it actually grows with the light, and it has the lights are included in it as well.
Yep, you got the lights, everything you need. I'm kind of in the light right now. Everything you need is included. The seeds, the growing medium, the nutrient blend, the pumps, the timers, everything's there. It's included.
Wow, that's amazing. So for the water, I'm just curious, do you need to put it like near a faucet or a pump line?
Great question.
Or you just put water?
You just put water in. So mine, I use, some people just fill up a big bowl and just keep filling it up. I use a drinking water hose. So I just use a hose and I put it, just fill it up that way. you can fill it up with a sink, whatever you need to fill it up. And once you fill it up, depending on which tower garden you got, there's two different models. There's the Flex, which is the one I have that goes inside or out, or you can do the home model, which is a little bit smaller than the one I have. So you use a little bit less water, but you just refill it, and then it's on a timer. It's pretty sufficient. You don't need to do too much.
Oh, so that's good. So you don't need any plumbing issues in that one because you can just put water.
Just put water in it.
And then you just need to plug it. So the only thing is you need to plug it, right?
Well, yep. You just need one outlet, and then you're set.
Wow, that's amazing. So for those who are interested in growing their vegetables,
there it is.
There you go. You can do the tower garden. I'm really curious about that because it's cute. Because I saw you on it. When was that? Last time? And I'm like, what is that thing?
I know. It's been fun. We have a lot of fun. The kids help me with it. It's a neat garden. It's very innovative, so I love it.
Okay, so any last words or last tips for our viewers?
I just want to leave you with knowing that, healthy living is a journey. I know I said that many times, but I think it's really important to understand that we have our ups and downs, and that every day is a new day. We have a clean slate, and these simple things, small things that we can do. Think of the LEAN acronym, the L, lifestyle, E, exercise, A, attitude, and nutrition. Working on a little bit of all of that will really help you down the road.
Wow. So thank you, Hallie. Those are amazing tips for you guys. And I hope you learned something new. So I can't believe it's almost an hour, guys. And thank you so much for joining us again tonight for this very special episode on tips on healthy living and healthy eating with Hallie. And for those of you who haven't subscribed yet on YouTube, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And see you next week for another episode of Getting Candid with Rochie. And guess what? It's Valentine's month, so we have everything about love next month. So don't forget, every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or in Manila time, it's Thursday at 9 a.m. So thank you guys, and hope to see you next week. Bye.